Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I have three figures here and they all have something in common. Here's a Batman that I put together a while back. Here's a Daryl from The Walking Dead. I like this guy. Here's a Kraven the Hunter. Have you guessed it yet? Well, I have a hint in the background. See that Mego G.I. Joe? Actually, all these figures incorporate some part of that set behind them. For example, Batman's outfit and his body came from Snake Eyes. And you'll notice that that bandolier right there and backpack are over here on Daryl's outfit. And Kraven the Hunter is wearing these arm guards from Storm Shadow. You see them right there. However, I dyed them brown. Go with his outfit. Yeah, I guess to go with the aesthetic. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rest of Storm Shadow's outfit and his body to work up a custom figure that I'm going to present to my son for his birthday. My eldest son. He's going to be 32. So, you know, he's a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z, and I thought this would make an excellent Goku figure. I just have to do a few things to the outfit, dye it orange or whatever, but really have to come up with a cool looking head that'll fit this body. So I'm going to go ahead and go online right now and see what's available. Maybe I'll get lucky and there'll be a head there that I don't have to do much work on, but that's rarely the case. So let me flip over to my computer and let's see what's out there. Okay, I'm going to start my search on Yegi, and I'm just going to simply type in Goku, and it looks like I have quite a few options here for heads. This might be an easy one. Let's see this one. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like it might be in parts, so I don't know if I want to mess with that. Let's see what else. This one looks a little weird. Let's check this out. Oh, it looks like they took a Goku head and put him on a Hulk body. I don't know, this one has some possibilities though. I'm gonna go ahead and download this one. It's free anyway, so if I make a mistake or whatever, I don't have to feel like I've been put out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this downloaded, and I'll be right back. Alright, I have it here. I picked the one without supports, Goku Busto Sin Soportes, that's my Spanish. And I'm gonna open it in Anycubic. And I'm just simply gonna slice that head off again. Yeah, you can see that Hulk body. Wow, okay. So I'm going to reverse the process and take this and pull it off of that body. Let me do a cut. And again, I just want to get as much of the model as possible that I want without having to trim too much later. Let's see. It's at a weird angle. Okay, looks like I've almost got it. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this, free cut. And delete the body parts. And then I'm going to save this. I'm going to export it into a file that I have. I'm going to call this Goku. And I'm going to save it in there. Okay, and now I'm going to take it into another program. Okay, let me open up that file. Ooh, you know what? No, I don't want to do it in Photon Workshop. I want to do it in my Mesh Mixer program. So let me come over here and go to Open with Mesh Mixer. Because what I want to do is I want to get rid of that part that I don't need. So I'm going to come over here to Select and Lasso. And I'm going to lasso this. Delete it. I'll lasso each one of these. They're pretty easy to delete. Let me just... should stick with the lasso. Sometimes those disc brushes work, but if the piece you're trying to delete is too deep, it won't. Okay, so now I have this ready. I'm going to go to let's see, my sculpt, and I have it on this feature right here. It's called Robust Smooth, and the settings that I have are strength 100, size, I guess, I don't know, 55. I don't know. Let's see, strength 100, size 55, depth 50. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to use my robust sculpting tool to just kind of like smooth this out right here. Get rid of any sharp edges. And then just look at it at different angles so that you can see that you're accomplishing something. And then stay away from the spiky hair because you want the spikes, right? Looks like I just obliterated that spike, but hopefully it's not going to be too noticeable. I think that's pretty good. Let me just take one more look at it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Export. My Goku. And I'm going to call this Goku Prime just in case I messed up somewhere. And save. And then I'm going to open it in back in my Anycubic program. Okay, so here's my Goku Prime. I'm going to go ahead and go to Open with Anycubic Workshop. And I'm going to import a special tool. I'll put a link in the description below so that you can have a copy. But first, I think I'm going to have to rotate them. Because I need to have the head pretty straight when I add this neck thing. It's a little tilted. You'll find out when you add the neck too, because it lets you know where in the sculpt you need to adjust. Cool. Now let me import. It's called a BFSM head tool. pretty small, so let me go ahead and get this. Oops, reset. Let me get this and increase the size. I don't know, maybe 300. So 300%, well, looks a little big, but let me at least get, you know, an idea of how big it is. Move it. That actually looks pretty good. I'm just centering the head right now. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I think I got it. I'm gonna reduce it just a little bit, I think. 295. Excellent. So now I'm gonna go back. Let me make sure it looks good first. On all sides. Yeah. Let me export it back to my, let's see, Goku file. I'll go back to my original Goku, save it there. And now let me delete this. Because you'll see it's in two parts. And if I import my Goku model, it'll be in one part. Sorry, looks like it's having to repair it. And now I'm going to size it by importing my Abraham Lincoln head. I'll put a link to this too in the description below. Lincoln Mego head 2. And this gives me a good idea of the size for the head that I need. And let me reduce the scale. Still looks a little small. I guess 85%. And then delete that. And then the last import I'm going to do is my neck tool. Let's see, neck. And I'm simply going to take this and drop it on the neck, and I'll be ready to print. Oh, you know what? I don't want a neck tool. What I want to do is I want to take my model and I want to drill a hole in it, because I'm going to be using that neck stem, right? So let me go ahead and tilt it. And I'm going to go to my, let's see, where is this thing? Punch. Let's see, 9mm, 9mm. I think that's about the size I need. Now this other stuff, these are depth gauges. Those aren't important. Just make sure that this inside and outside circle diameter are 9. And that's going to be the support for my neck. Okay, I'm going to get this guy printed up, and I think it'll be ready to prime and attach to my body. Well, that printed up really nicely. I used an ABS resin just because it has all these like little spikes, and I didn't want them to snap off. You can see that there's a little bit of flexibility there because of the ABS resin. So now that I've got my head printed up, and there's a little hole. Here, let me test that real quick. Got my body over here. Okay, so yeah, it fits into the socket, but what you'll notice here that it doesn't fit all the way. So what I have to do at this point is, once I'm ready to attach the head, I'm gonna heat this part up and get it to I guess fit inside that canal right there, and it should just snap in. At least that's what I'm hoping. With the ABS plastic, it should work out. So hopefully that does work. If not, I can trim around there and make it fit. But I think it's gonna fit. You know, once I get it heated up and popped in there, I think it's gonna fit fine. So let me go ahead and get this thing primed. I got some flat paint for that. I got Rust-Oleum over at Walmart. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this primed real quick and bring it back so I can get it painted. Okay, well, I've got my head drying. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this little insignia on the outfit. And to remove it, I'm gonna use acetone. Let's see, let me get this guy undressed. And it's this thing right here. Let me go ahead and add a little acetone to my glass bowl. And I'm just going to work this very carefully. You can see that it's already starting to come off. Try not to get too much bleed over. Looks like I'm getting some. I think that will be okay though, because I'm going to dye it orange, and I might be able to get rid of that shadow effect. Looks like there's another little coating right here. I don't know what that is. Looks like it's starting to come loose though. All right, looks like I got rid of it, and it looks like I took care of most of that bleed over. I'm gonna rinse it in water and see what it looks like, and then I'm gonna get it dyed. All right, at this point I'm gonna dye the outfit, and to do that, I'm gonna use a RIT dye more. Now this particular dye is for synthetic fabrics, and I've used it in the past and it works out pretty well. The color I'm choosing is apricot orange. I'm hoping it's a nice, vibrant, bright orange. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take 2 cups of water in a small pot or a pan, and I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of RIT dye in there, and I'm going to simmer it, and when it's ready I'm going to drop the outfit in when it's kind of simmering, because you want it to be at around right below boiling, around 200 degrees. And so when it's got a good simmer to it, then I'm going to drop the outfit in there and leave it soaking for about 30 minutes, and then pull it out and rinse it under cold water. And this synthetic dye that I use usually holds the color pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that taken care of now and get this dyed. Okay, I have him primed. I think he came out pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and put the first coat of flesh on there, and I'm gonna use a Cadian flesh tone. And I'm just kind of, get that on there. I'm not really too concerned about detail right now, just making sure I get the paint on there. I'm gonna try not to get into the hair, but if I do, it's okay, because I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna repaint the hair and add another layer of flesh. So this is just the first coat of the flesh tone. Again, try not to get too much into the hair, but if you do, you can repaint it. It is a darker color, so you may have to use a couple of coats, but nothing too difficult at this point. I want to make it look anime, kind of, I guess, approach to painting. I haven't quite figured out how that's going to happen. I have experimented with my Scooby-Doo stuff, where I do some black lining by blocking it out. So I'm hoping that I can use the same sort of technique here. Oh, looks like I missed that support. Let me go ahead and grab that real quick. There we go. Yeah, I went through and I thought I got all the supports. If I bump into another one, I'll take care of it. Yeah, I found quite a few while I was getting ready to paint them. Or after I painted them, I should say. Because they show up a little bit better. Alright, looks like the first coat of the flesh tone is down. Yeah, I like the coverage of those Citadel paints. They really do a good job. They're a little pricey, and if you're just getting started, you may not want to invest in a whole set, but I would certainly recommend the flesh tones just to get you started there. Okay, so it looks like that's done. I picked out a nice yellow. Let's see, what's this stuff called? Flash Gets Yellow. And I'm going to use this for the hair. And you can see how when you prime your figure white, the colors are pretty bright and vibrant. I may have to use 2 coats of this, we'll see. That's a nice bright yellow. Yeah, it's going to take me a while. I got to get inside these little crevices right here. So I think I'm going to do the rest of the first yellow coat off camera, but I think you get a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like. All right, now that I've got that base coat down on the hair, I'm going to go ahead and add the next layer to my flesh. It's going to be Kislev flesh. And you'll notice I didn't paint the areas closest to the face, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add like a little dry brush to this. And this is going to bring out the highlights, but at the same time I'm going to probably encounter some of the hair, and so if I'm gonna have to go back and paint it, I'm not gonna paint it to begin with. And you can see that that's giving a highlighted effect to the face. I just zoomed in a little bit so you could kind of see what I'm talking about. A little bit more paint on my brush. Wipe some off. And just, highlight the portions that would be exposed to the light. Like the cheeks, forehead. Oh yeah, that brow is looking pretty good. Yeah, this is Goku's Super Saiyan form. So I think his skin was a little darker. My son's the expert on this, so hopefully he likes it. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z. I would see the kids, watching it, they would shout Kamehameha or something, I don't know. So I don't know a lot about the Dragon Ball Z, and I think I'm going to have to ask my son about the emblem on his chest, because there's several, and I don't know which one goes with this particular figure. So I don't know if it's going to be, it's not going to be a surprise probably. I can figure out what I'm up to. All right, I think I've got the basics down for the flesh. Now I can finish the hair. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Oops. Let me get that portion on that forehead. Looks like I missed that cheek part right there. Okay. I think I can finish the hair now. I'm going to let that dry though, just so I don't smear any on the hair as I'm doing it. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the hair. It looks like it's coming along pretty nicely. Now I'm going to finish that hair. Switch to a smaller brush too. Looks like I'm going to have some touch up there for that flesh. But let me get the hair down and then I can come back and do some more touch up. Okay, let me get underneath this one. It's looking pretty good. I don't know how common this head sculpt is. If you remember, I pulled it off of a Hulk body that somebody had placed it on. So I'm thinking it's probably a pretty common one. I saw it twice. But you know, there are a lot of different head sculpts out there for this particular character. You want to go Super Saiyan or I don't know what his regular form is called. Just Goku, I guess. Okay, it looks like I'm almost done with the detail here. And then I'm just going to go back and I'm going to do some touch up on anything I might have missed. I do think the ABS resin was a good call on this guy. All right, last bit here. And then I'm simply just going to go back and see if there's any areas that I missed and take care of those. Okay, it looks like I have to do a little bit of a touch-up. Oops, missed that piece of hair right there. And you can see I got a little bit of yellow here on the flesh. So let me get that taken care of real quick. I think I'm gonna go with the darker one because it's like right next to the hairline. And I want to maintain that illusion of shadow or shading. Oops, looks like I have too much paint there. Oh man, I'm making a mess. I've got to let it dry, I think. I may have gotten it. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do any touch-up that I need to do, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now that I got my touch-up done, I'm going to black out the eyes. I'm going to use my Abaddon black for that. So what I plan to do is black out the eyes and then come back and paint them white. Hopefully it gives me like a lined effect. Trying to make it clean. You can always go back and touch up. This also helps me see where the eye placement is. I think this brush needs to be rinsed. Try again. Okay, so I got those blacked out. Now I'm also gonna block off the mouth. After that, I'm just gonna use, off my brush. I'm gonna use a dark, let's see what, I think it's called Bugman's Glow. I'm gonna use that in the mouth. Because I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna paint the teeth, but I need to have a nice contrasting color in there for the roof of the mouth and the tongue. See, that works out pretty well. Look at that, I got those stray bristles. Looks like they left a mark too. Okay, so at this point, let me go ahead and get that touched up then. I'll take my lighter color, Kids Love Flesh, and I'm just gonna fix that portion of the mouth right there. Okay, you might be able to do the eyes, let me check. Grab some white paint. And on this one, I'm just going to push up to that border of black. Trying to keep it. If I remember, the pencil marks are pretty narrow. And I think they're only on the upper and the side lids. Times like this, I wish I had a steadier hand and better eyesight. I don't think that looks too bad. Well, I might as well do the teeth while I'm here. Oops. That's okay, I can fix that lip. Coming together. All right, let's see. Try to clean up that eye. Okay. I think it's okay if I go into the lower eyelid with the white. Then I'll just go back and I'll touch up those areas that need it. But I'm going to go ahead and let that dry first. Okay, for his eyes, I'm going to use a base Caliban green. This is a really dark green, and this is going to be the initial color of the eye. And for placement, I'm going to place them off center. Like that. Looks like this one's bigger than the other one. Let me get them sized correctly. Those look pretty even now. And at this point, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do my touch-up. I've got this darker color, the Cadian Flesh Tone. I'm going to use that to paint underneath the eye, kind of straighten it out. Just like that. And then the same thing with the other eye. Okay, and now the lips, the same color. where I messed up on the teeth. I'm going to correct that now. And then on the upper lip too. Okay, let's see. I think at this point I'm going to paint the eyebrows. Get that yellow. I can see them pretty well on the sculpt, so. Looks like I botched that one right there. Let me try to find that line again. I can always go back and touch it up. So I'm not too worried about it. Oh yeah, I can see I missed it completely. And on that one, I'm going to use my lighter flesh to touch that up. There we go. Looking good. I think the eyes are ready for the next color, which will be this right here. It's called a Death Guard Green. Shake that up. You might need some medium. I've got this stuff. It's called Lamian Medium. And you don't use this, I mean, you don't use water, you use this when you want to thin out your paints. It's like a glycerin, I think. Still looks chunky. Let me make sure I give it a good shake. There we go. Still a little chunky. I think it'll work. I'm going to go ahead and put it into the eye. You can see that's giving it a little bit of highlight. All right, it looks like I'm almost done. I'm going to come back and do my final highlights and do the touch-ups on the eye. And I think we're almost done with this guy. Okay, now I'm going to add some highlights to the hair. Got my white paint here. I'm going to do a dry brush on his hair. You can see this kind of picking up the highlights. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to use a yellow wash. That looks good. Wow, that looks really good. Okay, let's see, what else do I need to do? Oh yeah, I've got to add a little bit of wash to the face, so let me grab that real quick and a smaller brush. I think that was too big. I'll grab this one. And I had a wash here. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. It's actually called a contrast Gilliman's Flesh, and this is going to be where I use my shading. And I'm just going to put this in where I see some creases, like here between the eyes. Under the nose. Let's see, I'm also going to put it in the ears. There we go, a little bit under the chin there. Okay, now that I've got that that highlight there, I'm using this contrast. This contrast is called Contrast Bad Moon Yellow, and I'm applying it to those highlighted areas in a little bit of a watered down form, just to kind of bring them down a little bit. You still have the highlight, but it's not as white, if that makes sense. It's just kind of like a lighter shade of yellow. Because I want that yellow to kind of like pop. All right, I think it is. Let's see, anything else I need to do? All right, is that done? Looks pretty done. Wow, look at that profile. That's super cool. All right, I'm gonna go get my heat gun. I'm gonna let this guy dry first, and I'll probably cover him with my matte clear enamel. And I'm gonna get my heat gun and apply it to the body. I'm gonna go check my my outfit. I have it drying outside. Okay, now he needs a symbol on his back. I just typed in Goku symbols, and I get quite a few. It seems like this one right here is the one that's most associated with him. So I think I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to have it printed on my Avery paper. I have this stuff, it's called Avery printing transfers for dark fabrics, and I see it's on Amazon for $12.96. I think I got mine at Walmart for about the same price. It was maybe 10, 12 bucks, I don't remember. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that printed on my transfer paper, get it cut it out, and apply it to the back of the outfit, the tunic. Okay, here's my tunic, and I've started peeling back my my decal, because this is going to go on the back. You know what? Let me put this in there first. I usually iron on top of something like cardboard, and this I used in my last outfit that I did this with. Just have to position it, and then flip it over, and I'm simply going to iron it right there. Make sure I get it straight. I think that's right. Okay, and then I get my transfer paper, put that on there, and apply my hot iron. Got to make sure that you cover all portions of it. You want it to melt really well into the fabric. And I'm going to let that cool, and then I'm going to remove the cardboard. But that's how you use this Avery dark fabric transfer kit right here. So I'm going to let that cool down. I'll be back. Okay, while the shirt is cooling, I'm going to go ahead and heat up the neck stem. And hopefully it just pops right into my head. I'm sure you could probably do this with a hairdryer too. It might take you a little bit longer, but... Okay, so... Oops, I should have taken it off of the stand. There we go. Popped right in. All right. That fits pretty well. You can see that I covered his head with my matte clear enamel. Get it a pretty consistent finish. Matches the body pretty well too. That wasn't my intention, but that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get him dressed now that his shirt is cooled. Let's get him set up and take a look at him. I think he came out pretty well. And I think my son's gonna be really happy with him. You'll notice I added a couple of items. This blue shirt came from Classic TV Toys, along with the blue sash, and the blue boots, and these wrist, I guess wrist guards. All of those came from Classic TV Toys to kind of round out the look. But I don't think you need the shirt. I did it just to tie in the color, but in a lot of pictures I saw he was like bare chested, so don't necessarily have to get that little shirt if you're gonna do your own Goku. But yeah, I'm really pleased with him. I hope my son is as pleased. I'm gonna have to print up a couple of things. I did print up a Kamehameha effect, and I'm gonna photograph him with it. You know, I've been experimenting with clear resin, and I found this like yellow dye for resin, and I used it in this batch, and I think it turned out pretty well. So you'll see that in the photographs towards the end, the little montage. But really happy with this figure. You know, if you haven't picked up a couple of these like Mego sets, the G.I. Joe sets, you may want to, because you know, you have some options for customizing. This outfit right here, perfect for Batman, or if you wanted to, you know, make like a Paul Atreides figure, that would work out there too. You know, this black suit has a lot of possibilities, you know, even maybe a Punisher suit, and you can put the skull on there, you know. But it worked out really well for my Batman. And then of course, Storm Shadow here was used almost entirely without the wrist guards or whatever to make this figure. I used the body, I used the outfit, the tunic and the pants to kind of put together my own Goku. So if you haven't picked those up, I don't know what the supply is like, but you may want to get on it. I might pick up a couple more. I have 2 of those that are unopened, so I wanted to keep one, you know, just for, I guess, collector value. I don't know. I opened up my, you know, I got the Ghostbuster set, and if anything's going to be collectible, it's probably going to be that. But I opened it up and busted it out so I could start playing, taking pictures. But yeah, I think Goku looks pretty solid. We'll find out. I'll let you know how my son reacted. If I missed something. Maybe I missed the I think he called it a turtle logo. I don't know. I might have missed that, messed it up. You guys let me know in the comments below if that's the correct one, if I got it right, or if my son's going to be angry with me. I know he wouldn't be angry. I think he's going to be really pleased with it no matter what. Well, until next time, you guys stay safe, be cool, and you know, I hope that something like this opens up the customizing of 1/9 figures to a newer generation, a younger generation. I don't think my son's going to get into it, honestly. You know, he just, you know, he likes what I do. He thinks it's cool for somebody my age, but no, I don't think it's something he's going to do. But maybe somebody else out there, maybe there's a young person who is really into Dragon Ball Z and wants to have Dragon Ball Z figures in 1/9 scale. This might not be my last one. I saw some other options for other figures. I don't know their names. I'm going to go look them up. But my son does, so maybe next birthday I'll add to his Goku Dragon Ball Z collection. Well, until next time, stay safe, be cool, have fun customizing, because I know I am. Bye now.